WEWS,
the Overnight Underground Podcast. Here's your headlines. Pence goes naked. Cuomo's daily bitchfest. It's time to isolate your dog. Disinfectant-gate keeps rolling along. And garbage truck fires are now a thing. These stories and more coming up on today's Overnight Underground News. I'm John Ford. The president didn't do anything stupid enough to garner media attention yesterday, so the vice president kindly stepped into the breach. Pence is under the gun for not wearing a face mask while visiting the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic allegedly told Pence that their policy was that all visitors need to put a mask on their puss. Pence passed on the recommendation. His reasoning for not wearing the mask? The VP said he wanted to look the healthcare workers, quote, in the eye. I think Pence needs to get Fauchi or one of the other White House experts to explain how to wear a mask. New York Governor Cuomo used his bully pulpit to cast the blame of the COVID pandemic on everyone but himself on Tuesday. His targets, public health officials, the intelligence community, and every politician's favorite foil, the media.
Governors don't do global pandemics, right? But there's a whole international, national health community would do that. Where were all the experts? Where was the New York Times? Where was the Wall Street Journal? Where was all the bugle blowers who should say, be careful, there's a virus in China that may be in the United States?
The New York Post notes that Cuomo has also openly grappled with Mayor Bill de Blasio as well on the face mask issue. Cuomo having a little Howard Beale moment on live TV.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Speaking of Mayor de Blasio, he's getting as good as Trump for tweeting with his foot in his mouth. The mayor specifically called out to the Jewish community in New York for gathering in large groups following an outdoor funeral by an Orthodox Jewish sect in Brooklyn. The mayor tweeted that he, quote, instructed the NYPD to proceed immediately to summons or even arrest those who gather in large groups. Goodwin's Law, it seems, is in full effect. Right or wrong isn't going to matter here. He's joined the ranks of those guilty of offending someone or some group. Mr. Mayor, you helped create this beast of offense. Now learn to live with it.
Well, if you think that's offensive, check this out.
Ah, brother, now you have to socially isolate your dog. The CDC has issued a warning that your pets now need to follow the same social distancing rules as you do during the COVID-19 pandemic. So no dog parks or sniffing butts with the neighbor's dogs. According to the CDC, do not let pets interact with people or animals outside the household. Also, avoid dog parks or public places where large numbers of people and dogs gather. Last week, 2 cats in New York came down with the infection, and a pug in North Carolina became the first dog in the U.S. known to authorities to have become infected. And no, do not bleach your dog. It's just the story that the press refuses to let die. Disinfectant-gate. A new Reuters poll says that 98% of Americans think injecting disinfectants into plague-infected patients is a generally bad idea. Makes you wonder about the 2% who think it's a perfectly spiffy idea. Overall, Trump's ratings remain about the same as a week ago, with 43% of Americans saying they approve of his overall job performance. Remember, folks, use the code MAGA2020 for a 30% discount at checkout on your bleach and disinfectant needs. Dr. Fauci, the coronavirus expert at the White House that everyone seems so fond of, even getting Brad Pitt love on Saturday Night Live, appears to have a little alleged COVID dirt of his own. According to an article in Newsweek, the organization led by Dr. Fauci, the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, financed scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology and other institutions for work on research on bat coronaviruses. Many scientists have been critical of the gain-of-function research that Fauci's institute funded, which involves manipulating viruses in the lab to probe their potential for infecting humans. The scientists' fear revolves around the research creating a risk by unleashing a pandemic by accidental release. Sound familiar?
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
In a somewhat unrelated story, drug maker Pfizer is now saying that they could have a coronavirus vaccine available by the fall.
Are we sure about this?
Officials from Pfizer told the Wall Street Journal that testing of the vaccine could begin as early as next week, and emergency usage could happen in the fall. Clinical trials have already started in Germany, where Pfizer is working with German-based BioNTech. New York-based Pfizer has already invested 650,000 simoleons into vaccine research for coronavirus. Pfizer, aren't they the ones who invented Viagra? Tell you what, if your coronavirus vaccine can also give me a woody, I'll pay extra.
Side effects may include dry mouth, nausea, blurred vision, diarrhea, trichinosis, alopecia, sudden onset dementia, heart arrhythmia, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, no blood pressure, diabetes, an overwhelming urge to eat a cheese sandwich, hives, vitiglio, rosacea, athlete's foot, shows affective disorder, enlarged prostate, eyelashes in your eye, hydrocephalus, unincreased desire to engage in risky behavior such as picking up skanky husbands.
If you pick boneless chicken as the next food shortage to hit the U.S., step right up and pick up your foul prize. Yeah, I know. Anyway, it seems the meatpacking plants have reduced supplies of boneless chicken, and the popular cut of meat is next on the hard-to-find list at the store. The pandemic infections at meatpacking plants have reduced slaughter activity and could make boneless cuts as rare as hen's teeth. Look, Bunky, here's a little hint. It's not that hard to take a well-sharpened boning knife and bone the damn chicken yourself. I'm sure there's even a YouTube video that will explain it all to you, Snowflake. The really scary thing is, there's probably a fairly large percentage of people who think boneless cuts come from boneless chickens.
Promise you'll get me a bone and I'll tell you how to get a chicken.
Garbage truck fires. Is there anything coronavirus can't do? It seems that with all that time we have on our hands during lockdown, folks around the country are taking advantage of that time off from work and cleaning up and doing chores that have been piling up around the house. One problem, though. Fox News Denver reports that there has been an increase in garbage truck fires, which are undoubtedly due to more people tossing out hazardous materials, such as batteries, pool chemicals, paint thinner, lighter fluid, and propane tanks. When the garbage trucks use their compactor to smash the trash, it often goes boom.
You son of a...
The U.S. may be in the midst of a French fry shortage due to the cursed coronavirus, but in Belgium, they have a glut of potatoes. In fact, 750,000 tons of the tasty tubers are at risk of being thrown away. According to CNBC, the Belgian government is telling its citizens to eat 2 helpings of fries a day. Gotta love a government that tells you to eat 2 helpings of fries a day. The spud glut is mostly due to a fall in demand in the frozen potato sector. Now there's a phrase you don't hear every day, the frozen potato sector.
Potatoes!
Of course, the Belgians make a damn good fry, and you can almost forgive them for slathering their wonderful fries in the devil's condiment of emulsified raw egg yolk, oil, and acid.
N-E-W-S.
A mostly correct and occasionally incomplete transcript and links to reference sources and articles of this Overnight Underground can be found at overnightunderground.com.